Hello, this is Matt from the Welsh Boxing Hub. This is the first of this sort of video. It's just my post-fight thoughts on the bout between Joe Cordina and Gavin Gwynne on Saturday just gone at the O2 Arena on the Lomachenko and Luke Campbell undercard. Leading up to the fight, I was very excited for this one. Two unbeaten Welsh lads going at it. One former Olympian and one guy who is just known for being extremely tough, having a really good engine. So, let's go. Cordina won by unanimous decision. The scorecards were 116 to 110 twice, and then 116 to 111, while most people agreed that Cordina was the winner. Clear winner as well. It was a bit unfair with the scorecards. I personally did have Cordina winning, but probably only by 2 or 3 rounds. I think the first half of the fight, Cordina controlled. Gwynne then came back into it, and then towards the end, Cordina found a second wind, and then finished very strong. So it was a great start from Cordina, planting his feet, landing the big combinations, controlled his jab really well. Gwynne's game plan was obviously to pressure forward and assert himself. Started a little bit slow, didn't really get into that sort of game plan until the second or third round, which Gavin has admitted himself. I think if he had started from the off, then things could have been different for him, but that's easier said than done. Big stage, and Joe Cordina is a very smooth operator, and he's fought against most styles, so it'll take a lot to really get past him. So moving on then, Gwynne dragged Cordina into close quarters for some trades, back and forth. Again, Cordina landing some clean flush shots. Gwynne head down, charging forward, not taking a backward step. In the 7th round especially, it was a good toe-to-toe battle, and that continued then right through to the next few rounds. I think Gwynne's best shot of the night was in the 9th round. He caught Cordina with a monstrous uppercut. Really good. I think if Gwynne had a bit more power, that would have really rocked him. And he could have possibly got Joe out of there if he carried on following up the barrage of punches. Joe then got back into his comfort zone in the 10th, found his momentum again, and exploded into life really, landing plenty of painful body shots. Again, Gwynne took them really well. He did wince once or twice, but both of them took some big shots. Either they don't really feel anything, or they've got really good poker faces. So all in all, it was a really entertaining fight. They both refused to take a backward step, and my only complaint about the fight is that it was shown at 6:30 when the stadium was pretty empty. There probably wouldn't have been as many viewers tuned in at that time. I think it should have been in front of the Boazzi and the Ford card, being an all Welsh derby, both undefeated. It just made sense to have it later on, but we can't have everything, of course. So where do both fighters go from here? The general consensus throughout the boxing scene is that Joe Cordina is destined for world titles. Even if he had lost this one against Gwynne, it would have only put him back 1 or 2 fights, and he'd be back where he was. So now Joe has said he wants to move on to European level. He wants to go against Patera. He did want that fight now, but obviously the Gavin Gwynne fight came along, ordered by the board for Joe to make his first defence of his British title. So Joe's going to be moving on to Patera. Obviously you can't look past anyone, but I feel Joe beats Patera quite easily. and move on then to a fringe world level opponent, and then probably on to titles. For Gavin Gwynne, where does he go? Gave a very, very good account of himself. Not many people give him a chance. He was the massive underdogs with the bookies. Looking on Twitter, not many people knew of him, so they wasn't sure what they were going to get. But the usual Twitter boxing fans, oh, he's a nobody, he's fought nobody, he's a bum, just because he hasn't got a big name or a big promoter. But he done himself well, took Joe all the way. A lot of people were predicting a knockout for Cordina, but didn't even really wobble Gavin. So where does Gavin go from here? I still think he will have plenty of opportunities come his way, probably on the bigger shows as well. Joe has stated he is going to vacate the belts when he moves up to European level, so I'm sure Gavin can get one or two more fights behind him, and then when they become vacant, challenge for them again. Looking in the current top 10 in the lightweight division in the UK, there aren't really many people that are better than Joe Cordina, which would be fighting for the British title. So I think Gavin would probably have an easier night. Just looking down the rankings, he could possibly go against Scotty Cardle. He could possibly go against the likes of Atif Shafiq, who was defeated by James Tennyson on the same card by a brutal knockout that was. You've got plenty of potential opponents for Gavin, so providing he can move forward, which he will dust himself off, come again. Tony Borg is too experienced to let this one slide, and Gavin has said it is his dream to win the British title, so he is going to get another shot at it. Just needs to get a few more fights under his belt, and then hopefully the board will order him to fight for it again. Given that he's give himself a good account, then I believe plenty of promoters will be having him on the shows. Not to say he's going to sign a contract or anything with them, but for purse bids, I can see him going on to some decent shows. Very entertaining fighter, and got some really, really good feedback from the likes of Tony Bellew, and who else was it? Anthony Crawler as well. Gave some really good feedback. We're impressed with him. So in conclusion, I really, really enjoyed the fight. It was everything I was expecting personally. Plenty of fireworks, non-stop action going forward. Gavin proving everyone wrong with his commitment and his heart and his desire. And obviously Joe then with his silky smooth skills and the way he just moved around the ring was perfect. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. As for the rest of the card, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, maybe for another video, even though I am purely concentrating on the Welsh boxing scene. It was a fantastic card, and maybe I'll do a video in the near future on that. But enjoyed every fight. The only one that was disappointing for me was Povetkin and Hughie Fury, but I was expecting that, to be fair. So yes, while you're all here, I can now announce the website is now live, www.welshboxinghub.co.uk. Plenty of articles on there, more articles coming on a weekly basis, so check it out, and once again, thanks for watching.